Surgery gave me freedom. Hi, I'm here. Today let's talk about the big contradiction. Being an LGBT plus content creator on social media. Why is this such a big contradiction? Well, I would say that most social media platforms are not made for us. They are actually made to not protect us really and to get us to censor ourselves because they target a lot of words that are LGBT related. The algorithms on many social media platforms are very robot-like, so they just think that if a certain word is used, it means it's bad. But you know, queer on its own is not a bad word, trans on its own is not a bad word, non-binary is not a bad word. Well, if you go on YouTube, if you go on Instagram, if you go on TikTok, if you use certain words that I just mentioned, then that might mean that you get a strike, your post gets taken down, your account gets taken down, you're shadow banned, and so on. That's one thing. So as a queer content creator, you have to think a lot about what you're going to post, because what is the ultimate goal of a queer content creator? If I speak for myself, I would say the purpose is to reach other queer people and give them advice, give them support, give them relatable content, and also reach people outside of the queer community who are open to learn, or who after some time might be open to learn. Now, there are two things that are hard as a content creator who is queer online. It's what I said before, it's the fact that platforms really target us, so it means you have to think about the words you use. You cannot use the word queer or trans or non-binary or lesbian or gay on TikTok, for example. TikTok is the most, I would say TikTok at the moment is the most far-fetched rule-making platform. They really make it that you cannot use any kind of queer-related words. And if you do, your post is immediately targeted. It's not even that you have a chance. It's like the chance is maybe 5%, and if you don't find a way around that word, that it's gonna be bad for you. And I'm saying this maybe with a smile on my face, but I don't think that's very funny. Like, I know that TikTok is one of the most growing platforms at the moment. Everyone is jumping on it because the platform kinda... It's football, people are going cray-cray. I'm not, I don't give a... where was I? So TikTok has kind of promised that it has equal opportunity for people who are already famous as people who are not already famous to, grow. And of course, if you're already big, it will be easier to stay big or to grow even more. But it is true that the first time I went on a platform, I just wanted to see how it went. And if you stick to the things you have to do to grow on there, it really does help until a certain point. So it's a good platform to be on nowadays. And it's also very easy because you only have to make like a few 6-second clips and you already have content, So it's really easy. You don't have to put a lot of time in it if you don't want to. You just kind of jump on the trends and try to put your personality in there so people know who you are. But TikTok is also one of the most queer targeting platforms, I would say. And I'm not saying they have bad intent, because I'm not even sure if anyone has real bad intent, but I'm talking about the consequences. TikTok is really one of the hardest platforms for me personally as a queer creator, because I didn't know in the beginning about certain words that you couldn't use, and so I had to really figure that out myself after so many strikes that I really got a warning, this thing at the top of my account, and it said that my account could be deleted permanently if I had one more strike. I'm like, I didn't even do anything wrong. It's like being, really being targeted, being punished for something that it wasn't even bad. You didn't do anything bad. You were just yourself. You used the words that you use on the daily to describe yourself and your community, and still you get all these strikes and eventually get your account possibly taken down. So what do queer creators do? We kind of waltz around the words on any platform. On TikTok we use queer, but we put all these kind of numbers instead of letters, or we write something with space in between, or we write fruity instead of queer, or we put a rainbow emoji because that's, there's no meaning behind that, it seems. I see what we're doing on TikTok, on YouTube, on Instagram. We are all trying to go against the things that these platforms are doing to us, because the platforms are trying to not push our content towards people. They are trying to target certain words that we use, maybe not with bad intent, because it might be to target haters who use the word queer, because queer can be a slur, for example. But then your system should be better, because it's not normal. And that's the thing I'm really frustrated about, is that it's not normal that I do get a lot of hate comments, real hate comments, and those just appear randomly without any repercussions for them. Like, they can say repent, they can say God hates you, they can say queer people should die, they can go as far as anything that they would like, and those comments just stay up. They don't do anything about that, these platforms. They just stay up. I have to delete them manually. So that's possible, but it's not possible for me to use a word like trans, non-binary, where there's literally nothing wrong about that word. So I feel very conflicted about that. If you have a system in place to protect people, then you should do your best to really research how to implement it, so that it doesn't go against people that you want to protect. I'm now really thinking that they have good intentions, because it could be that they don't have good intentions, that all these platforms just actually, I'm not sure, they don't really want to make a change, they just want to confirm the status quo and maybe have traditional values, the makers of those platforms. I'm not sure, but I want to think the best of it, so I think it's mostly bad systems, bad algorithms that just cannot distinguish between someone who uses queer as a slur and someone who uses it to just describe themselves and reclaim it. But if you're doing that, at least make sure that people can also really not put hate on there. Like, on YouTube I have, like, with each video I upload at the moment, if it's a shorts video, I just get hundreds of nasty comments, like extreme hate. Not just, I'm not really a fan of queer people, which is already bad too, but repent, you should die, God hates you, doctors are going to regret giving you top surgery, you're mentally ill. Like, I've heard it all, and I hear it every day again. I see it every day again, mostly on YouTube Shorts and on TikTok. Yeah, that's one thing. One thing I wanted to discuss was really the fact that platforms are seemingly not made for queer content creators, because they go against us, they make us censor ourselves. We try to go against what they implement rules, and we try to walk around it. We try to use other words to say the same thing, but we try to be on these platforms because we want to do something, we want to raise awareness, but they are kind of against it. I don't know what we're going to keep doing, because this quote, like, you cannot use the master's tools to dismantle the master's house, from Audre Lorde, I think is her name. You cannot go against the grid, cannot make a change when you keep using the tools from a platform that is actually working against you. Well, we can do that, but there's something wrong there. That's the only thing I want to say. There's something wrong there. It's not us who need to adapt or change. It's the platform that needs to change and be more open, be not targeting the people that they seemingly want to protect with their rules. Because TikTok, for example, has a very open policy where they really want to protect their users, but it has a different effect. And it's not only even queer people, it's more than that. It's all kind of minority groups, people of color, people with mental illness, for example. Like, there's something bad there. We try to censor ourselves a bit, just to be able to be on the platform and stay there and keep our account. About the censoring, I feel like there's also a lot of censoring about bodies. There's always been censoring when it comes to bodies online, which I understand, because when does it become nudity and when is it still acceptable to be just online for everyone to see? That's the question. I do understand that there's a lot of conflict there, but it's not normal that certain nipples are accepted and other nipples are not accepted. It's pretty strange to think about as a transmasc person who has had top surgery, that over 2 years ago I would have not been able to post my chest online. Also, there's a clash between cis bodies and trans bodies, because I thought that as a transmasc person who got top surgery, I thought that after top surgery I would be able to post my body without any problems. And I have to say, for the most part, I am able to post my body with my flat chest online without any problems. But there's still, let's say, 20% chance that I do get problems still, because I will never have a cis body and I do have scars, and the scars can be an issue. And while I do understand that certain scars can be triggering and should not be shown everywhere and stuff like that, it's a sensitive topic, let's say it like that. That's one thing. And the second thing is that many platforms are pushing content more towards right-wing users. And I personally have not experienced this on all platforms. For example, Instagram is not for me that way, but I do on YouTube Shorts, I do experience that. Like, I just have to put one Shorts video up and I'm just certain, it's guaranteed that it will be pushed in the right-wing community, which means that I will just only get hate. And if I'm lucky, there will be a few left-wing people, queer people who maybe also follow me, who like leave some kind comments or try to go against the negativity. But I do know that if I post that, immediately it will start getting a lot of views, but also a lot of hate. It's seemingly a choice I have to think about. Like, do I want to get more people to see my work? But, you know, it might be sent to the wrong people. Do I want that? Do I want all the negativity to come to me? Or maybe I need to stop with certain videos or certain platforms, because I will only get nasty comments and people I do not want to attract, because it's not people who are open anymore even. It's people who are definitely against who I am. They do not want me to exist. I don't know what to do with that anymore. That's not... I don't have the energy for that. But mostly it's frustrating that I make content, I put so much work in and time into that. I want to reach people who can learn from it, who I can help with that. That's what I want to do. I want to reach trans people, I want to reach queer people, I want to reach people who want to get top surgery so they know what to expect, because there's really not much known yet about gender affirming surgeries, and we as trans people, we really learn from each other a lot of the time. And it's really within the community that we learn things from each other. We say, this surgeon is good, this one you shouldn't go to this person is not kind, or this person, well, the aftercare after the surgery was really bad. You know, we learn from each other, and we learn to recognize certain symptoms from each other. And of course, there are also the experts that we need, and we need the doctors, and we need the medical expertise, of course. But it's also the community that we need. We learn from each other. So I know that as a content creator who is queer, trans, non-binary, for me, my purpose online is to make people like me seen and to educate them, to help them, to learn from them as well, to connect with them. And I also want to reach, for example, parents from trans people. I want to reach people who are open-minded but just don't know much about the queer community yet. I want to reach even people that might be maybe a little bit more right-wing, but they are still open to talk and to discuss things. We may find some common ground. What I'm not open to anymore is people who are extremely right-wing, who are, radical right-wing, because there's no talking there anymore. I don't know what to say to them online. I would need to be with them in a pub and know that I only have 1 hour and I can go away, and I will try to have a decent talk, but I cannot do that online. Online, you know how everything works in the online world. It's just everyone starts shouting at each other, and that's not what I want to do. I'm not sure what the solution is. There should be a platform that is better organized, with an algorithm that is not sending haters towards us, or at least the platform should protect us from hate comments, the actual hate comments, and not from our own identities, our own labels that we just use because there are labels. There's nothing wrong with those terms. Or existing platforms should be more aware about the consequences for queer creators, and they should implement other rules, other more human-like rules. Anyway, those are a lot of thoughts I have about social media platforms and being a queer, trans, non-binary content creator on social media.
Can occupy space in my body. Surgery gave me freedom.